Sorry for the 5-minute delay, but the board has just come back from a work session and we would like to start our regular session. So if you would please stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will need a motion to approve minutes.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Gavin?
Yes.
Ms. Batchy?
Yes.
Ms. Timmons?
Yes.
5-0.
And we get to the meat of our meeting, which is item number 5, superintendent presentations. Dr. Cooper, take it away.
All right, tonight we have 3 superintendent presentations. The first one is our monthly wayfinding Mason moment video. So this wayfinding video is, we give one every month, so please check them all out, but it's a way that takes a big district and makes it small. It makes our community a little bit more connected. So we'll turn it over to Tracy Carson to tell us about this exciting one that just happened.
That's right. Just this past weekend, After Prom brought our Journey to 2030 priority of connected community to life. For more than 2 decades, this incredible tradition has created a safe, joyful space where our students can celebrate, unwind, and simply be kids, surrounded by a community that shows up big for them. And what makes it so special is who shows up. Parents, former parents, prospective parents, many of our Board of Education members were right there volunteering, and of course, our own superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Cooper, along with his gracious wife, Michelle, once again led the always anticipated dodgeball tournament. But the night is really powered by generosity. From chairs, Casey and Brian Moran, it's so nice to have Brian with us tonight, to partners like NATORPS, Econowise, and the Mason Dance Center, whose support has helped make this experience unforgettable year after year. It's more than an event, it's a reflection of who we are, a community coming together to create Mason moments that our students get to carry with them forever.
Kids are coming off an amazing prom experience and then get the opportunity to celebrate after prom together as a community where they come, they can do inflatables, they can get tattoos from the band. They just have an opportunity to live their best life. It's also a place where we come together as a community to support them, whether it's the hypnotist shows, the band, the soccer boosters. We have amazing gifts in Mason, and we see creativity show up at after prom. We see volunteers show up at after prom, and it just makes moments that cannot be replaced for our students.
It means so much because it brings together all the Mason values in one place to just have a great time. I mean, I was back here Thursday when all the parents were just starting to set up, and just seeing the camaraderie and the community coming together just for this one special place to have our entire diverse community just come and enjoy just the night right after dancing and just, kind of relaxing and getting to unwind a little bit. I think it's very, very special that we have that, and very, very special that we have it in such a safe space.
So for 20 years, over 20 years actually, the Mason Dance Center has been sponsoring our inflatable area. We have almost $10,000 worth of inflatables that kids can come in, bounce, run, jump, compete, and just have a great time. Just playing and being kids. And we want our kids to be kids and to have those great moments. Other great sponsors are Chick-fil-A and BB Bop, as well as Meyer, where we get some pretty amazing raffle prizes from them, as well as from Tall Stacks, where kids can then if they stay till 1:30, have the opportunity to win some really good prizes. This year it's 80 or 65-inch TVs, PlayStation 5. I mean, just so many great and wonderful things. So volunteering at After Prom, I mean, that can start in kindergarten. If you have kindergartners, come volunteer. Then it becomes just part of what mom and dad does. And so when they are in their junior and senior year, they know it, they expect it, and you get to watch them celebrate with their friends, living their best life. This is my 8th year of running After Prom. My daughter walked in, gave me the biggest hug, as did all of her friends. And so it's great that mom's here. It's great to see them celebrating, smiling. They're eating ice cream, they're eating cookies. They're just having, again, their very best life. So I would encourage people to get involved. Whether you want to have a big role or a small role, there's all kinds of roles. And we have parents here who are dressed up in some of their best Hawaiian gear. And again, they're kind of living their best life just like our students are. So take this as an opportunity. After Prom is a Mason moment.
Thank you, Tracy, for bringing that another amazing wayfinding video for people to understand. And I do love the call to action. If you have kindergartners in the district now,
I feel like personally called out on that.
I thought that was a personalized call to action right there for you.
Gives you a preview, Tracy, of what to expect
Right.
for that unknown future.
It is a lot of fun. If you've not been a part of it, I highly encourage you to consider it. It is so much fun to watch our kids have a blast together. And speaking of our students having a blast together, I got to see one of these students dominate on the dodgeball court, but that's not why they're here tonight. They're here tonight to celebrate state championship level competition. So we have Isabel Tepley and Liam Clark here tonight to be recognized, and we cannot wait to hear some of your stories. So let's welcome them to the podium. That'd be great. Go ahead. Yes, thank you very much. I did not mention that we do have the Boys and Girls Coach of the Year, Mark Sullivan, but I didn't see him up there, so I didn't want to just call him out. But
Yeah.
Mark, I know you're watching, so we'll say hi.
I'm not Mark Sullivan. I'm Felice Hall. So Mark is our head coach, and I'm alongside of 2 other coaches, which is Sabrina Manning and Heather Schooner. So the 4 of us head up the swim team under Mark Sullivan's lead. So I have the honor to introduce both Bella and Liam tonight. I want to give you a quick rundown of our season before they come up, because it was one for the record books for sure this year. So our girls this year, they were Southwest champions for the 4th year in a row, and our boys team were runner-up Southwest at Southwest Classic for the 4th year in a row also. The thing with that meet is we thought that we got first. They thought we got first. And then it came back and we actually were runner-up by 6 points, and the boys used that as fuel the rest of the season, and it was absolutely amazing. So at our GMC, both our boys and our girls, they were champions this year. And then at sectionals, they both brought home that championship title again. Then at districts, our girls secured first. This was their 3rd year in a row being first. And our guys, for the first time in 57 years, changed the title to Mason. It was with a different team. As I said, it had been there for 57 years. So anybody in any capacity in swimming has not known this to be anything other than the one team. And then our guys finally brought it back to Mason, which, as you know, Mason hasn't had a program for 57 years, so that was for the record books. Then at state, our girls team finished 2nd, which is our 6th runner-up finish, and our guys finished 3rd, which is the 2nd time in the history they finished 3rd, partly due to the leadership of these 2 individuals. So I want to introduce them to you. You have Bella up there, so I'll start with Bella. Liam, I did have you going first, but your picture's not up there yet. So Bella Tepley, as you know, is no stranger to being here. You guys met her last year. And then this year she added another state championship, making her a 3-time state champion. This is in addition to an impressive 15-time All-American winner. So she has been All-American 4 times in the 200 free relay, twice in the medley relay, 3 times in the 400 free relay, twice in the 500 free, twice in the 100 free, and twice in the 200 free. She leaves Mason with records in the 200 freestyle individually and the 400 medley relay. This year, she was named GMC Swimmer of the Year. She was also a part of the swimming state team for all 4 of her years with us. And if you guys remember last year, Charles mentioned, she was also a part of the state winning cross-country team her freshman year. She continued on with the state team her sophomore year, where they finished 3rd, correct? And then she was a part of track's state team her freshman year. So well-rounded athlete. Bella is dedicated, she's confident, she's determined, she's very, very genuine. She is constantly giving her teammates advice for big meet situations to help them become the next leaders of the team, which speaks very highly of her. She's not just interested in what she can do. She has stepped up in any way that we needed. There were times where I know she wanted to swim something else, but she knew that what our team needed was what she should do, and she did whatever we needed. The thing is, in spite of her achievements, and she has a lot of them, in spite of her achievements, she is one of the most humble people we've ever met. When she wins, she's gracious in her win, she's gracious on the podium, and I couldn't ask for a better athlete than what we see in Bella. She plans to continue her swim at Northwestern, where she will study economics. Before I introduce Liam, Bella, do you want to come to the podium? Or would you like me to go both and bring them both up?
Why don't you introduce both, and then we'll get to
Both
hear
and
from
bring them
both.
both up?
Pepper them
All right.
together with questions.
Yeah.
So then, do you have
Switch
another
the photo.
slide first, Liam?
Here we go.
There's Liam. So Liam has joined our team his junior year. So we've had the pleasure of having him for 2 years on our team. And from the very beginning, it was clear that Liam made big goals. He came to us from New York. Sullivan often jokes, because we're public schools, we can't recruit, but he often jokes that we've recruited him from New York. He came with a goal to be a state champion, and that he obviously did. In process of chasing this goal, he was a part of our state team both his junior and his senior year. Before he came to Mason, already had achieved All-American status in his 200 IM. And then once he was at Mason, he continued and got another 200 IM All-American status, and also was All-American in the 200 medley relay. He has team records now in both the 200 IM and the 100 breaststroke, and that 100 breaststroke was a 20-year record that he broke. At state, he ended 5th in the 200 medley relay, 7th in the backstroke, and then he saw that initial goal of being state champion in his 200 IM. Liam is confident, dependable, focused, and hardworking, and he has been throughout his career at Mason. His junior year swims at state he used as a motivator to not just inspire himself, but inspire his entire team, and he bonded them along the way. He continues to plan his swimming career at Miami University, where he will study supply chain and operations management. Please welcome them both to the podium.
Hello.
If you guys just want to take us through the season and then your state swims where you won, that'd be perfect. And then I'm sure there's lots of questions.
Trust me, you got it.
Okay, going into the season, I would say we had a lot of underclassmen, and I really saw that as a chance to improve. I feel like in the past, it's mostly just been upperclassmen at state, but this year was really special because we ended up taking a big portion of underclassmen to state. So it was really special to kind of show them how it's done and help them out the way I would have wanted to freshman year. And honestly, I'm just so proud of our team. I couldn't imagine getting second 3 years in a row. It's honestly just a great accomplishment, and I'm proud of everyone who helped that out. For my 2 free, I knew it was going to be a lot harder this year because the competition was just a lot more competitive, I guess. The girl who got second, she's an amazing swimmer. I raced her throughout all of high school, and many times she won, many times I won. So I know going into that race, I had to give it everything I could. And honestly, I just going through that race, I had to my goal was just get as many points as I could because I knew it was going to be close to get second again. Ursuline was really close to us. They were third. So, yeah, it was just a really good race, and I'm proud of the way I executed it, and I out-touched her by a little bit. So, yeah, it was good. And I'll let you go.
Yeah, so from the beginning of the season, well, Mason is a huge district, so that means that there's a lot of guys on the team. When I was in New York, we only had 16 guys on the team, which was significantly less than what we have here, and that was actually the amount of guys that we brought to the state meet, so that was kind of cool to compare. But yeah, I tried to bring down some chants from New York to kind of bring the guys together, have a little fun. So that was one of the things that I thought I kind of made an impact on. So I'm going to try and have those guys continue that tradition and spread it. And then to the state meet, the 2IM, I've been wanting to get state champ in that since my sophomore year. When I was in New York, I got second place. And ever since then, I was kind of just like, I need to get state champ. As Felice said, my junior year wasn't what I wanted, but I used it as energy for my senior year because going into it, I was second seed. But I was like, well, my junior year, I knew that that was going to be the guy that I was going to have to race my senior year. So I was already mentally prepared for that, and I knew he was a freestyler. So I knew it was going to be a race all the way through. And just rewatching the video, I was like fourth at the backstroke to breaststroke turn. Even Bella said she didn't believe in me, but I believed in myself. And I kind of brought it back. And then the last 50, it was me and him just going at it. And then I out-touched him by 0.1 something of a second. So I'm super proud of that. Super proud of the team that we've had this whole season.
I'll save Mr. Galvin. And
Yeah,
we'll just everybody go, and then we'll let Charles.
Let me ask you to reflect on kind of what your legacies are going to be. I mean, we're setting records, and we're bringing the title away from another team that I love that we didn't even name the other team. That makes me laugh. But just speak a little bit about just what it feels like to go out on top in this way your senior year and as you're leaving Mason.
Yeah, so I think that other team, as Felice said, had the district meet for 57 years. And kind of when I moved here, some of the guys, it kind of felt like I was just thrown into, we hate that team. So I was like, all right, we hate that team. Let's go get them. So as Felice said, at the Southwest Classic, we thought that we had won that night, but then the morning we had lost by 6 points. I say they cheated, but whatever. But that kind of built up some anger, and we were like, we have to get them at districts. And we knew that we could. So going into the district meet, we were like, we got to get hype. Let's beat them. And we were fortunate enough, and we put in the work, and we beat them. And I think I think we can get them next year, and I think we can continue to get them. So I hope that this is the start of a snowball effect. So I hope that we can keep going at it.
All right, for our season, I would say we started off really strong, but I definitely saw like the underclassmen had a lot of like room for improvement. So I tried to take them underneath my wing and kind of like show them like what I wish I had freshman year, because my freshman year was definitely like not like everything that I wanted it to be, especially at state. So I really just tried to help them as much as I could. And as the season like progressed, I saw them like improve such a like great amount. And one of our freshmen, like Ronnie, she even ended up getting 4th at state, which was like amazing because my freshman year I didn't even make it back to finals. So I was just so proud of all of them, and to see our team like get 2nd for the 3rd year in a row was truly amazing. We had such good seniors last year, and when we lost them, I was kind of unsure of what our team would look like this year. But yeah, me and another senior, Dana, we just try to really motivate the underclassmen and juniors to the best we could. And yeah, we did something that I think most people weren't expecting us to be like as good as we were this season. So it was just really cool to prove them kind of wrong a little bit and like just bring back the 2nd place that we did the year before.
Bella, I had the joy of watching you run in 8th grade. So I was one of the moms on the sideline cheering you on while my kid was coming up behind you too. And I know that you were running and swimming. What's the thing that made swimming the focus?
Yeah, I would say I had no idea what sport I wanted to do, but going into junior year, I just started to like the competition aspect more of swimming. And I think as I started, especially high school, I think that's what truly changed my mind. Because before high school swimming, I honestly thought I was going to start doing running, and that's what I plan on doing in college. But when I started high school swimming and I fell in love with this team, and Mark was just a great coach, and Felice and all the other coaches I had, it just made swimming so much more enjoyable. And I think that just is what truly changed my perspective on swimming. So, yeah.
Awesome. Good choice. I mean, it's the hardest thing in the whole world to swim. I tried it a couple years ago. It's very difficult, but I think I'm very impressed that you guys can do it so well.
I am just kind of curious. Both of you are swimmers. Do you have is that in your family? What kind of led you in that direction? Because I know Charles's kids, they're going to be swimmers. Their dad's a swimmer, so did that come down from your
Honestly,
parents,
for me,
grandparents?
both my parents were tennis players in college. They knew nothing about swimming. The reason I chose swimming is because my brother was really good at most sports, and yet he could not swim. So I figured I'll choose the one sport I know I can beat him in, which was swimming. And then since then, I've been swimming since I was 4. So yeah, thank you,
Nice.
Yannick.
What about you, Liam?
Yeah, so when I was up in New York, we lived super close to a summer league pool. So I was 2 when I got started swimming, so I've been at it ever since. And I don't know why I love it so much. My mom always says that she had to drop my older brother, into the pool when he was 7 because he hated it, but for whatever reason, I just loved being in the water. I did play soccer for a time. I didn't hate that, but I think, I don't know, swimming was just more fun.
Yeah.
So before we let the resident expert on,
He's dying.
I know. I'll make mine short. First of all, to the parents, anything former track dad, anything with the word meat in it, just cancel your day. That's where you're going to be. So thank you for supporting your children in their endeavors. What do you take? So you guys are state champions. You're graduating this year. You're going to swim at the next level. Tell me the thing that you are going to take from Mason to help you start your college career, both academically and athletically.
Okay, I think the thing I will take most is just the teammates and honestly building those meaningful relationships, because I just got so close with all my high school teammates, and I truly think that's what helped our team and what made me love high school season in particular so much more. So just hopefully forming those same bonds in college and using that as a strength against other teams. And then I guess just competing and hopefully just bringing what I did here to there.
I think similar to what Bella said, moving to Mason, not knowing anybody here, I had to make friends, and being a swimmer, I just get dropped into a friend group. So that'll be helpful in college. Those will be the majority of my friends. So I think trying to create good bonds between us, maybe bring some of the New York chants to Miami University would be kind of fun.
Can you do one for us?
I don't know. But I think, especially at that state
Pool deck
meet,
only.
it's one of the most stressful environments, so you kind of just have to relax and go back to what you know. So I think that'll help me in college, especially going in as a freshman, going to conference. It'll probably be very stressful because I've never been there before. So I think going back to what I know and taking from what all of my coaches have told me and just relying on what you know and doing the little things, because those make the biggest impact in the race.
All right, I'm going to try.
All yours.
I'm going to try to not get us too off the track. First of all, this is more of a comment than a question, but Bella, I know you swam the 500 and the 200 your freshman and sophomore years, right? And then you made the switch last year to the 200 and the 100, won both of those. And I got to say, like, looking at the results, I thought you would double in both of them. But also, it made me kind of think that you could have won the 500 this year. And yet, when you talked at the beginning about how many underclassmen this year's team had, 3 girls who were freshmen got to make it to the state meet because you opened that spot up for them. We did not have the depth in the 100 to get that many girls up there. So I just thought that was like something, sacrificing maybe individual glory for the betterment of the team, and all those freshmen who got that experience, that's going to compound and help down the road. So I think, when we talk about the legacy that you guys leave, that's something that sticks out in my mind, because you are definitely up there in the pantheon of very high, company in Mason swimming. I did have a question. So you have 2 pool records, is that right? And you have school record in the 200. I think you have the district record in the 200, and you get to be a back-to-back state champion in the 200. So of each of those distinctions, those accomplishments, can you rank them? Does one stand out above the others?
I guess first would have to be last year's state champion, because that was like my first time winning it. And then probably this year's state, because I just feel like states is so special, and it's just I feel like the points matter the most. So when I win those ones, it's it means a lot. And then the district one, I honestly didn't know I got that record until Sylvan told me later, so maybe that won third. And then the pool record was also really special too, because I also didn't know I got that one. And one of my friends in the stands was her mom was screaming at me, and I was like, yeah, it was a good race. And then she was pointing at the board, and I was like, oh yeah, I got that. So yeah, that was really special too. I guess they're all pretty even, but I'd say the state ones come first for sure. Yeah.
All right, Liam, I'm very interested to hear, we all kind of are sipping the green Kool-Aid. We've grown up here in Mason, Comet Country. We think, we know how good we have it, but I am very interested, your outsider perspective, you've only been here for 2 years. What has it been like? First of all, do you know why your parents chose to move here? Did the swimming have anything to do with it? Or, what can you tell us about coming here from New York, and what do you feel like has been, the most memorable part of your experience, swimming or otherwise, in being a Comet?
Yeah, so we decided to make the move. Swim World wasn't doing so good up in New York. A lot of coaches, all that hoo-ha. Then my dad fortunately got laid off, but we then decided to make the move down here. They moved back. Both my parents are from Cincinnati, so they got to move back, but I got to move to a whole new place. Swimming is totally different up there. For the state meet, it's just a cut time, so there was a whole other level of pressure added to try and perform at sectionals, to then make it to districts, to then make it to state. So that's why junior year wasn't awesome, and then that still adds pressure my senior year. But I think the biggest thing I'll take away is the team that we have here. The guys brought me in with open arms. Sullivan and Felice brought me in with open arms, and gave me a place that felt like home, and made swimming fun again, because there's always peaks and troughs of swimming, but they really reinstated my love for the sport. So they definitely helped me through the tough times of junior year. So I think the team, the family, and the community that Mason has, while we are huge and swimming isn't that big, but I mean, it's pretty big in Mason, they've definitely helped me get through some rough times, and then obviously they helped me become state champs. So yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, thank you both. Amazing job. You leave a legacy of excellence that you have passed on to the underclassmen, so hope to see some more swimmers next spring. So if you want to come on down, we got a treat for you, and then, we'll take a picture.
All right, we have one more superintendent presentation this evening, and we are excited. The timing was perfect. I'm going to turn it over to Melissa Donahue to introduce the champion here, and we are going to be highlighting the Mason High School speech and debate. So we'll turn it over to you. Let's welcome.
Well, good evening, Dr. Cooper, members of the board. My name is Melissa Donahue, and I'm a language arts teacher here at Mason High School, as well as the head coach of the MHS speech and debate team. So thank you for the invitation to recognize such a talented student at tonight's meeting. Sahana Shrikanth, a senior on the speech and debate team, had achieved tremendous success throughout the last 3 years of competition, and this season was no different. Sahana advanced to the final round in her speech event, International Extemporaneous Speaking, during all 4 years of her competitive career at the OSDA state finals. This is no small feat. You know, it's challenging enough to qualify 4 years in a row to the state tournament, let alone advance to the final round each time. So you may also remember that Sahana was a state champion during her sophomore year at states in 2024. This year, she made history by being the first Mason speech and debate team member to win 2 state titles. I'd like to congratulate and introduce our 2-time OSDA state champion in international extemporaneous speaking, Sahana Shrikanth.
Hi everyone, thank you so much Ms. Donahue for that really kind introduction. I feel so honored to be here, and I just want to say thank you for all your support throughout the season. My accomplishments in speech and debate would not have been possible without your constant support for the team and how much work you do to make our team successful, so thank you. I just want to start by talking more about my journey in speech and debate. I started off in Mason High School speech and debate team when I was a freshman. It was one of the first communities I felt a sense of belonging in. Our team is huge. We always have more than enough members during each practice on Mondays and on Thursdays, but no matter what room you enter, what event you're talking to members of, it always feels like a place where you belong. And so that's the biggest thing that drew me into staying in speech and debate. My event, International Extemporaneous Speaking, is centered on public policy across the world, so I really enjoy learning more about what's happening in global events, and I've stuck with International Extemp for the past 4 years, and that was my event at States for the past 4 years as well. At the state tournament, every year we have a few rounds of preliminary competition, and then we have quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, and then during each of those rounds they have a different topic area, be it North America, South America, or any other region across the world, which the questions are sourced from. So I feel that I've learned so much throughout my years competing in international extemp, and I actually hope to carry my experiences with Mason speech and debate as I compete in college speech and debate this fall. So that's a little bit about my journey in speech and debate. I'm also really grateful to the team members that have supported me throughout the way. No matter whether it was freshman year or senior year, the competitors in international extemp are always so supportive and always help me learn by giving me feedback, and I hope to carry it forward by continuing to give them feedback even as I'm in college. So very, very grateful for the Mason High School speech and debate team.
I'm sure we have some speech and debate.
Well, I'll ask Sahana, can you sort of walk us through the first time, whether it was this year or last year when you were state champ, when was the first time you had that sense that you were going to break through and be at the top of the state?
Yeah, so when I attended the speech and debate state tournament freshman year, I was just really surprised to be there. There was only 2 other freshmen at states at the time, so I felt like I was a little baby in a sea of people who knew everything about the tournament and about the event. So at that freshman year tournament, I didn't really expect to go far. I was really taking it as a learning experience. That was what the seniors on the team at the time told me. They said, you have so much potential, but anything can happen, so take it as a learning experience. So that's what I did. I entered every round just trying to be the best version of myself, even though I knew There were people that had done this for way longer than me, but I think it was the mindset that year that helped me get to the final round, even though I didn't end up winning that year. So the first year, I think having a growth mindset was really what carried me to finals. The second year, my sophomore year, was the year where I state championed, and I did have pressure at the beginning of the year. I felt like I needed to final like I did the previous year, and I also knew that I was a year more experienced and could carry that experience with me into better results. So that year, my mindset for every round was be the best version of yourself, but also keep in mind that there's feedback you already have to incorporate. So it was a mix of like internal pressure, but also a growth mindset. And then also I feel like I had a sense after every round based on the audience's reaction to whether they enjoyed the speech and if I enjoyed the speech that I would break through. So I try to read the judges' reaction. If they're smiling and they look really happy, I typically get the sense that I might be moving on to the next round. So another thing that I really valued about like going into each round with a clear mind is trying to make the audience have fun too. So I try to add like jokes in my speeches and point out like pop culture references so that people feel connected to the words that I'm saying, because I think it's really important to make these global events in the world feel relatable to everybody and feel interesting to everybody too. So yeah.
One more question. So I hear you talking a lot about your speeches, and I take it that there's a lot of preparation and pre-planning that goes into it. So where does the extemporaneous part come in?
Yeah, definitely. So international extemporaneous speaking sounds super complicated, but it really is just a 30-minute slot of time where we have to write a speech that we speak on for 7 minutes. So a lot of people call it, like, we just abbreviate it IX. So in IX, the people who compete in the event can prepare by like researching on global affairs beforehand. So what I like to do is during the week, I'll just read the news, and that really refreshes me on like what's happening in different continents. So that's one aspect of preparation. The second thing I do to prepare is just give practice speeches that simulate a tournament. So I'll sit down at my desk, write a speech for that 30-minute of preparation time, and then give a speech of 7 minutes, who my parents have had the unfortunate task of being my judges at home. But that's one big way that I've practiced. I'm very grateful to have had them as my judges at home, because their feedback has been incredibly, incredibly helpful over the past few years.
Well, I know the millions of viewers that we get in our meetings, I'm sure there are some aspiring politicians that are looking for talented speechwriters to bring along now. This is where I would start.
Sana, can you reflect on what it means for you to be the first 2-time state champion from Mason?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it means the ability to inspire others to know that they can do it too. When I first started off in speech and debate, in my event specifically, I remember being the only girl in practices and like the only girl breaking at tournaments. Even that year in finals, my freshman year, I was the only freshman girl. Everyone else was a senior guy, and I really felt so out of place, and like I didn't have a sense of belonging. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing and that this wasn't the space for me. And there was a point that year where I remember thinking that like debate wasn't the space for girls, we didn't belong here. And I know it sounds really silly now, but at the time, like I was really young, and I think I saw a lot of my peers be pushed out of the event because they felt like competitive success didn't belong to them just because of like their background. So to me, like being able to be a state finalist and state champion for 2 years means to show everybody, no matter where you're starting, even if you feel like you have no past experiences, hard work and effort can get you to where you want to be. To me, it also has shown the importance of being surrounded by people who are like-minded and passionate. That's one thing I've really loved about the Mason High School community. I see that we always have value systems like the Portrait of a Comet skills that inspire everyone to have a growth mindset, to have empathy, and to uplift others. And I wouldn't have been able to be a 2-time state champion without the mindset that people around me have too. So to me, what it means to be a 2-time state champion is the importance of having a growth mindset and being with people who have a growth mindset too.
So Hannah, you keep talking about your growth mindset and listening to feedback, and I love that idea that you're constantly learning and growing. What are some ways that you, if you reflect back from like freshman year all the way till now, what are a couple ways that you've seen your growth in yourself throughout that time based on feedback or just maturity or whatever?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest areas of growth personally I've gained through speech and debate is how to take failure as a huge opportunity. So In my sophomore year, I was state champion in speech and debate, and then junior year, I felt this huge pressure to be state champion again. So what I was focusing on throughout my preparation at the end of junior year was really only the results, but I wasn't viewing the failure as an opportunity to really grow on the small skills that I needed to achieve that goal. So in that time period, I really reflected on what small changes I could make as a habit. So I started maybe delivering speeches more slowly, focusing on researching different topic areas, doing more practice sessions with my parents. And by focusing on those like smaller day-to-day habits and not the long-term outcome, I was able to achieve state champion this year because I was focused on the smaller things. So throughout my years in speech and debate, I've learned that no matter what the failure is, it's always a chance to grow if you focus on all of the tiny things behind that result.
I love that. And that's the second time we've heard that. Liam said it too, focusing on those tiny details to get to that big result. Thanks for that point.
I have a question for your parents. Do you ever win an argument with her? I'd like to know, you said, in your beginning years, your freshman year, you were one of the only females that advanced. How does it look now? How does the team look now? Have you inspired some young ladies to join and focus and succeed in speech and debate?
Definitely. I think one of my biggest priorities since like sophomore year has been to drag as many girls as I know into speech and debate, because no matter what event they're doing, I want other girls to know that like they have a voice and it matters, it's important, and no matter who else is in the room, their words are going to have an impact. So whether it's like my friends' siblings, like I've been asking them to come join speech and debate. I'm also in student government, and we have an event called MMS Workshop every March, and so I also use that as a little advertising opportunity to talk about speech and debate, because I think the skills of speaking are important everywhere. Now I do see a lot more of an even division of girls in international extent, but also in other events in speech and debate. And it was actually really cool to see that at state finals across the state, there's been like a steady increase in the number of girls at state finals as well. And so I think that goes to show that all of the speech and debate community members who are girls and want girls to be in the community are doing a really good job. And I think there's a lot of space to grow in the future as we continue to advocate for more girls in debate.
I love it. You're so comfortable in front of the microphone. Do you have any advice for someone who has a deep-seated fear of public speaking?
Yeah, I think the two pieces of advice I would give are first, practice, and also practice in absurd ways. Because for me, the biggest thing I did to overcome any fear was like, I would do a 3-minute like random word generator drill and speak on like random topics like bananas and like candy canes and unicorns and try to connect those words without stuttering. And by doing absurd drills like that, I became comfortable talking about literally anything under the sun. So for anyone who's afraid of speaking and speaking to an audience, practice and practice in fun ways. The second thing I would tell anyone who is interested in improving their speaking skills is have a significantly more confidence in yourself. A lot of things that pushed me to worry about debate originally were the fear of what other people thought of me. I was always thinking like, oh, is the way that I'm holding my hand in the debate round going to throw off the judge? Is my eye contact okay? Am I speaking like loudly enough? But because I didn't have confidence, it only made the speech sounded less strong. And so what I would tell aspiring public speakers is to believe in yourself no matter where you are, because that mindset of confidence can carry you further than any skill can. So.
Thank you.
And so I'm not sure, so I'm going to couch my plug with, I'm not sure if we still do this, because both of my kids went to speech and debate camp in the summertime.
Speak Week.
Speak
Yes,
Week.
Speak Week.
And so you can see wonderful state champions like Sahana and have your students learn from them, and they can kind of go through mock speech and debate. Both my kids did that. So with that, contextualize. Well, I have two questions. First, when did you realize that you were just love to talk? Because that's kind of a prerequisite to do this. And
That's a
then
good question for them.
Right.
I was going to say, they could probably tell you that.
She remembers. She remembers. She remembers. And how do you plan to carry this wonderful skill that you have honed forward in the future to change the world?
Yeah, definitely. So the first question, I think I realized my love for public speaking and talking through the spelling bee, which was all the way back in middle school. I remember I spoke at the Board of Education meeting in 2022 then about this experience, but that truly transformed my passions for the world of language. Through spelling, I spent a lot of time each day analyzing words, studying different languages, and practicing speaking out loud. The whole delivery aspect of spelling is enunciating words and talking about them. I really just enjoyed that process, and I saw that it carried me to success when I put in the effort as I finaled nationals in 2022. So I wanted to think more about how I could carry those skills somewhere in high school, and I found speech and debate as the perfect avenue to do so. It involved the exact same things as spelling. It involved articulation, studying languages, speaking under pressure, and learning about the world. And those were areas that I already knew I was passionate about, so I thought, why not try it out in debate? But what really got me to stick in debate was the community at the end of the day, because nothing beats talking to people who also love to talk. And so I think that was definitely when I realized this is the place for me. In terms of the future, I know that I want to carry it forward by continuing to support students in Mason who are debating and competing in extemporaneous speaking. This year, I already have taken on a few of the underclassmen as like my little siblings in a way. And so I saw that some of the international extempores who I was mentoring at the end of last year and this year quarterfinaled and semifinaled at state, when the previous year they didn't even qualify. So I was really, really proud of them. And so next year, even as I'm in college, I want to continue helping them grow. And I do so by listening to their speeches, whether it's on like FaceTime or listening to videos, because I think every single member of our speech and debate team has so much potential, and I want to see where that goes in the future. And then for me professionally, I actually want to use my skills in speech and debate as I compete in debate in college. So I'll be matriculating to Cornell, and they have a speech and debate team that's really active. So I hope to be joining that team and find a community just like Mason's. And then long term, I want to become a lawyer in the future, and all lawyers love to yap, and so I hope to be one of. And so I hope to continue talking as I am a lawyer as well in the future. So.
Well, congratulations. You know, I don't think we could have asked for a better ambassador for not only the speech and debate team, but for our high school. So thank you for all that you've done, and we're really, really proud of you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anybody who wants to know if Sahana is right, stick around for the board commentary portion of the program.
Well, you know, it's 5 till 8, so we will take a moment to pause and say congratulations and thank you again to all of our superintendent's presentations, award winners, and we'll pause and let you guys head out because we know that you've got better things to do on a Tuesday night, or you can stick around and hear what's going to happen. So we'll just take a pause there for you guys.
Guys have a great night. Thank you. Thanks, coaches. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so we will move to item number 6, hearing of the public, and we do have some speakers, so I will read the board disclaimer, and it goes as follows. Community participation at a board meeting is limited to the hearing of the public portion of the meeting. The board will not deliberate or decide any issue during the hearing of the public section. Each person is allotted 3 minutes until the total time of 30 minutes is used. In order to prevent disclosure of students' or employees' private information, the board will not allow any complaints about specific employees of the district in public session. So with that being said, we will start our hearing of the public with Miss Annie Lee.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the Mason Science Olympiad teams, we'd like to thank Mason Science Department for supporting our school's extensive STEM courses, as well as preparing us to be ready in all preparing us to be ready in all forms of science for Science Olympiad. Because of the Mason Science Department's support, our Science Olympiad programs at Mason Intermediate, Mason Middle School, and Mason High School had phenomenal performances at the 2026 Ohio State Tournament, with the middle and high school teams advancing to the national tournament held at the University of Southern California this year. We would like to show our gratitude by donating a $500 Ward Science gift certificate that the high school team won for placing third at the national tournament last year to the Science Department. We hope that this donation can be used to further aid Mason's science equipment and facilities, which have helped us so much in our preparation for competitions. We are so thankful to have the opportunity to take advanced STEM courses, especially APs, in earlier years of high school, because they've aided our foundation and Science Olympiad events greatly. For example, AP classes like AP Chemistry and AP Physics C have provided a crucial foundation to events like Chemistry Lab, Forensics, Circuit Lab, and Machines, allowing us to have a competitive edge and excel in those events. This year, we placed first in Forensics and second in Machines out of 50 teams at the state tournament. We are equally as appreciative for the strong core science knowledge built in earlier education, which not only sparked our passions for different scientific fields, but also gave our younger members the base knowledge and confidence to attempt harder concepts present in Science Olympiad. We hope this donation helps the Science Department continue to deliver high-quality education and reflects our deep gratitude for all the support they've given us.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
want to
you-
leave that with
Come on down.
President Orr here? And since you're donating money, I think it's worth probably a quick picture. Is
That's
that
what I
okay?
was wondering, yeah.
I know they're going to be back potentially next month.
I
In
think
June.
They're gonna go to nationals.
So we want to
So
see how that goes
we're
and then
gonna
bring
wait,
you back.
yeah.
With a donation, I think it'd be appropriate to get a picture.
You don't usually do this with
Big check.
Show you the rest of your team that are here. Shirts.
Thank you.
We'll see how that goes to Fifth Third, yeah.
Wallet done.
Put that to good use.
Across the teller's desk. Make sure you bring ID. All right, our next speaker was Miss Cheryl Skelly.
I'll be giving the floor to my 11-year-old Camden Skelly. He is in 5th grade and he has quite the mission.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm Camden, and I'm in 5th grade. I promise to keep this shorter than a homework assignment and a lot more fun. First, thank you for everything you do for students. I don't think anyone here wakes up thinking, you know what, kids need less of recess. But somehow, kids are getting less time to move, and I'm here to talk about why that matters. A few years ago, I moved to a smaller school in Amesville, and I lived with my dad while my mom worked a travel job. That school didn't have as many resources, but they did something powerful. They made movement a priority. Let's start with the real numbers. My mom and I looked at research from the National Institutes of Health. We learned that 42 to 45 of fifth graders in the U.S. are overweight or obese, and that's about half the kids my age. My friend Carter and I studied recess like scientists. We even used stopwatches. And what we found out was surprising. During 20-minute recess, kids actually got 14 minutes of real movement time. By the time we walk out, get organized, pick teams, and start playing, recess is almost over. That's not recess, that's just a commercial of recess. So my question is, do we have the power in this room to fix this? My third grade teacher, Miss Gilmore, was an ultra marathon runner. She partnered with Ohio University, and we did something called Run Club. We ran for 30 minutes before our lesson and had a healthy breakfast together. Kids ate health, and so here's some of the amazing things that happened. Kids ate healthier, behavior problems went down, classrooms were calmer, and the focus improved. And our test scores were the highest of all third grade classes. The only difference was movement. Now I'm back in Mason, a district with incredible resources, and that makes me wonder, what could we do if we worked together starting today? Imagine the impact you, as board members, could make. Our student-led initiative called Mason Movement Mission, and we already have so many supporters. Councilman Mark Burrell supported us right away. Firefighters at Engine 52 in Mason all joined. My extended care teachers are in. Principal Todd now wants to pilot more movement for my class and my switch class this May. Dr. Cooper, you inspire me of how you move every morning. The director of the Mason Food Pantry also. And I've been invited to help shape House Bill 304 with Melanie Miller, Tom Young, and Governor DeWine, which is pretty wild because all my grown-up teeth hasn't even grown in. Here's one more fact. In Amesville, I ran the distance of almost 4 marathons in one school year. Not because I'm special, but because I was given the chance to move. Now imagine the kids across Ohio, what they could do if they were given that same chance. Right now, many students get a 20-minute recess window, but real movement time is much less. And in some places, including Mason recess, can be taken away as a punishment, but maybe we should rethink that. Taking away movement is like taking away Wi-Fi from adults at an airport. So instead, let's protect movement, let's not use it as a reward, and let's not take it away as a punishment. Health experts say that you should get at least 16 minutes of movement every day, and today I'm only asking for half of that, but still, we get less. So if students seem distracted or too energetic, maybe it's not us, it's math. So my final question is, can we work together to fix the math? Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. And our final speaker, Mr. Anthony Klinker.
All right, good evening. My name's Anthony. On Friday, April 3rd, I was informed by the police that my daughter had been exploited by another student at Mason High School. I immediately went to the high school. Allegations of threats and distribution of pornography against my daughter. I met with school officials. I was showed empathy, offered counseling and support for my daughter, and followed up with a safety plan. I appreciate that response, but it's not enough. We were later informed by the police that due to the seriousness of the situation, the other student would be removed from Mason School by his parents. However, my daughter said the next day he was back at school. This is where my concern becomes an alarm. According to Mason's policy, the district has zero tolerance for violence, disruptive, harassment, and intimidating behavior. This policy also states that off-campus conduct can be disciplined if threatens student safety or disrupts educational environment. By those definitions, this situation clearly qualifies for disciplinary action. Yet I received no response. I emailed the board, I emailed the superintendent, I emailed the principal, no response. My daughter deserves better. Right now, my energy is focused on the supporting of my daughter, making sure she feels safe, heard, and protected. But part of my responsibility is to also ensure that no other family has to face the same uncertainty of why this student was allowed to return. Consider this from an adult perspective. If you were at work and you filed a HR complaint of sexual harassment, that placement would be put on administrative leave. But imagine you're told that would happen, and the next day you walked in and that person was sitting in your office. How would you feel? So I'm asking the board to acknowledge where the system failed and to take meaningful action, whether that means to enforce existing policies or strengthen them. There must be clear and consistent procedures to protect students. I'm here today because my daughter deserves better, and every student in this district deserves better.
Thank you, Mr. Clinker. Tracy, do we have any more?
Nothing more tonight.
Okay. We will move to item number 7, which is the reading of a resolution. So this is our Ohio High School Athletic Association resolution. Dr. Cooper, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so each year we have the opportunity to sign up to be a part of the OHSAA, be a part of that so that our students can continue to participate from grades 7 through 12. And you heard tonight that that's an important piece of our student experience. And so this right here just has recognition that we are signing up to be a part of that in the upcoming 26-27 school year.
John, tax rates and amounts is the other one.
Yeah.
Yep, so the tax rates and amounts resolution. This is a resolution we approve each spring. It's part of our tax budget process that we go through each year. Basically, this is a precursor to allowing us to collect our property taxes for next fiscal year. Just for context, property taxes, that revenue portion is about 2/3 of our general fund, so it covers a significant portion of what we do here in the district. So this is just part of the process of allowing that to occur.
So I'll need a motion to vote on this.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Apache?
Yes.
Mrs. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
5-0.
Next is item number 8, superintendent's recommendation, personnel items. I'll also need a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Cooper?
Yes, so we have all kinds of activity going on this time of the year, and the HR team is working around the clock to, one, bring new people on board and also be prepared for retirement. So you'll see in your board notes under the admin content for you all, you'll see who's retiring, the amount of years that folks have served here in the district. And so when it comes to retirements, we always just want to thank our folks for just their service here. Many of these are 30-year lifetime commitments that they've made here, and you'll see that show up in one section alone where we have our certified staff that's retiring. I think I added up the numbers there, and we are right around 325 years of experience retiring just on this agenda. And so if that makes anyone a little nervous that we have all this institutional knowledge moving on, I will join you in that from time to time because these are amazing people. But we are bringing on other people strategically, and we have other staff members that understand the importance of our legacy. And so our staff is wrapping around that concept. We know that we're transitioning, and so I will thank our staff for investing in new staff members coming on. So I'll just walk you through a couple items, but I just had to point that out because this is another reminder of kind of where we are in our season. You'll see in section L here, this is our retirements that I'm mentioning now, and so we're just so grateful for all the folks that are that served, Jim Vinnemeyer and everyone else that's on this list. We could go on, and we've worked closely with all of them, made huge impacts throughout our district and investments. As you scroll down through your agenda, you'll see in section O, we also have continuing contracts. So these are staff members who have continued to invest in their education here. Also, their administrators and their supervisors see them as folks that we want to continue to hold on to and retain. And so you'll see the continuing contracts come up in section O of our agenda as well. In section R, you'll have some of our classified personnel appointments. And I hope I didn't skip over new staff, but you'll see also new staff coming on board in some of the appointment sections. And then as we get down to the bottom, you'll notice that we also have classified staff that are also retiring as well. And we want to thank all of our folks because we also have people that have served here for 20, 30 years in our classified staff as well. So as you're just looking at this overall staff and what this agenda is telling us is we're in a moment of transition in our season, and that is an exciting time for folks that are moving on to retirement. It's also an exciting time for us to bring new staff members on. Speaking of new staff members, I'm going to bring us back up to the top for just a second because we do have some exciting news as well. So at the top of your agenda, you'll see in section B that we have a new name on our agenda. That's Zach Canta, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay, I've said it a couple different ways, Zach, so I'll admit that. But Zach Canta is someone who interviewed for our Director of Technology and Innovation, served in other districts, large districts, small districts, and we're excited to see him on the agenda. David Knapp, who came on just recently as our Chief Innovation Officer, searched and found a very strong pool of candidates that we interviewed for this position, and so we're excited to see Zach on the agenda and being recommended tonight to move forward. He also has some transition days in there because we are hoping we can get him started as soon as possible because we have a lot going on at this time of the year and transitions. Another one I just want to mention to you while we're on this, and then I know we have a lot more on our agenda, so I'll move us on. But there's also a name on here, Joel Rhodes in section I. And Joel Rhodes is a teacher. He's a music teacher for us, teaches second grade music and does a phenomenal job, brings lots of energy to our classroom. We had one of our assistant principals have an injury and not able to continue for the remainder of this year, and so we needed to bring on a substitute administrator and someone in an interim role. We asked our staff, Joel raised his hand at MECC to step into that role, so he's going to be coming on. Actually, I think today was day one, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Day one? Day two? Just came on today, and so we're hoping that he is able to help us to finish out the year in that role. It gives him a chance to step into the administrative role, to try that out, and it also helps us to have another administrator to work with our MECC team over there. So many other things on this agenda, but those are just some of the quick themes and highlights that we'll recommend today.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Any further commentary from the board?
Yeah, I'll just say, Jonathan, I wouldn't expect you to oversell it, but it undersold a little bit the work that we're doing on the legacy front because these big chunks of retirements are not going to, this isn't a one and done for us.
Right.
And we've had a bubble of teachers coming up through the ranks as we grew during our fastest period here in Mason. And so we've been planning for this, and a lot of the decisions we make have this in mind. And every time we talk about contracts and we talk about levies, we're looking at all of this over long term. So just really, really happy and thankful for all the work that's gone into making sure that we're not facing any cliff when it comes to our staff. We're certainly losing that long term institutional knowledge, you said, and these are rock stars that are going to be really hard to replace, but whatever we can do to replace them, we're doing. So I'm really happy about that.
And they have some nice succession plans handing off experiences, because one of the things with legacy work is the people, but also experience they create. So we've tried to really match those together with the new staff coming on.
Thank you.
Any further commentary? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mrs. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
5-0.
Just welcome Zach. Sorry.
Yes.
Says
Oh, yeah.
come
We're going to
through.
take a pause to.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Congratulations, Zach. If
very
you want
much.
to say a few words, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I just want to take this opportunity. My wife and I want to take this opportunity to thank the Mason City School District Administration and Board of Education for selecting me to be the new Director of Technology and Innovation. I'm very excited to be joining Mason, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you.
Very excited to have you. Very excited to have you and grateful that you would choose to be here. So thank you. We'll move to item number 9, Superintendent's Recommendations, Action Items. I do need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Cooper?
Okay, we have, there are 3 ESCs on here. The first ESC agreement is, we need some coverage for occupational therapy, and so that is a contract to get some additional coverage for our buildings. And if you go to item B, and item C are placements for students that are getting additional services that are beyond the services we're able to provide, and so those contracts make sure that we're able to meet the needs of the students. And item D is asphalt ceiling overlay repair project. This is exciting stuff that needs to be done. Mr. Messer is doing a great job helping take over where Todd led us to, and then keeping us continuing to look at the things that need to be maintained and taken care of. And so we appreciate his work on that, but this is just laying out one phase of some repairs that need to be done across our campuses. We've gone through that in facilities, and we'll bring that up a little bit later today as well. We also have a roof in Mason Community Center. So many people know the community center right here is shared space with our district, and so we do have an agreement there that there's a percentage that we pay for the shared spaces when we do repairs like this, and the city also in a partnership pays a percentage of that, and that depends on the area and what roof that we're working on. But we will have a roof that's over the pool area, if you want to orient that. They'll be working on that, I think this summer. And then item F is, this is a big one. So we have buildings now that are about 20 and 30 years old. And so if you think of your own home, what happens at 20 and 30 years old, you start to need to maintain and to update things. And so we have a large HVAC system at Mason Elementary and Mason Intermediate that needs attention. We've known this for the last 3 years, been watching this, and we were able to work with our company that we work with to phase this out into 3 phases. This is phase 1, which is probably one of the largest phases to get us started. And so that's what we're recommending today, that we would start that. And then there will be 2 more phases in the next 2 years. And that will help us to upgrade all of the HVAC at Mason Elementary and Mason Intermediate.
That is a robust list, but all necessary. So any further commentary from the board? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mrs. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
5-0.
And we will move to item number 10. Excuse me. Treasurer's report. I will also need a motion for this.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bevan.
So just a few things on there for approval tonight. We have items A through D are financial reports for the month of February. And then item E is a list of donations from several different people and companies in the community to various groups that we have who are supporting kids and families. Comic Cupboard is one of those. You see Brian Moran up here. We seem like every month we're mentioning Comic Cupboard and the work they're doing. So thank you, Brian and Casey, for all of your work. In addition to After Prom, Comic Cupboard. So on the agenda for tonight to receive some more donations to help Mason students and families.
Yeah, we can't say thank you enough for the work that the Morans do in and around the schools. It's just a phenomenal legacy, life-changing, impactful work. So deeply grateful for their hard work. Any further board commentary? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Mrs. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
5-0.
And We are at item number 11, committee reports. We do not need a motion, but I think we have arts and activities, so we'll start with Tracy and Dr. Blessing.
All of the committees.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, actually, Danny and I attended the April meeting, and it was brief, but an exciting thing that we approved. Obviously, you approved some of the staff members and their stipends for the summer, but we have a new camp for our kindergarten and first graders. And thank you to Elizabeth Weddle for helping put that on and give our kindergarten and incoming kindergarten and first graders an opportunity to take part in some of our Mason camps. So we're excited about that. We did approve the drama club poster for the Sister Act, and a shout out to Danny because she found a tiny misprint at the tiny.
It was literally
tiny. So
Good catch.
if anyone needs her she's got some fine eyes, so we appreciate that. And so, but no, it was a great meeting, and that's all we have to report for this month. So thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll move right into Athletic Council, which they didn't notify me of, but it's all good.
So Athletic Council, we wrapped up the winter season. Congratulations to all of our athletes, and we kind of discussed the upcoming spring season. Good luck to all of our athletes who are currently in their sports right now. We had a good spirited conversation just around how do we honor our students who are state champions, national champions, their teams, there's clubs, there's different ways. So we had a great conversation around that, and we kind of tabled that conversation because we wanted some more information about where's the best place to do that and how do we do that in the way that honors those kids and how hard they work. And so we will come back to that at our next Athletic Council meeting to kind of discuss that further. We just didn't feel like we had enough information to really make a decision at that time. So that was basically the events for Athletic Council.
That's great, thanks.
Wonderful. And so we'll move to Business Advisory. Dr. Cooper, Mr. Bevan.
Yeah, Business Advisory, we always have our XLP students give an update, and so we have a Business Advisory meeting coming up this Friday, right, is that right? This Friday coming up? For our final one of the year, and we'll get the end of the year wrap up. But we also talked to our business partners about where they see the opportunities in our school to continue to push us and to make sure that we are giving our students the kind of experiences that are going to set them up for the future. So that was a big portion of our conversation. That opened up everything from artificial intelligence to the experiences that they have at their workplace that might be transferable into what we're doing with our students. So great robust conversation. We always appreciate the engagement of our business partners and look forward to the last meeting this coming Friday.
Wonderful. Diversity Council.
During our time together, we celebrated the legacy and really honored Reverend Cromwell Handy, who was an early member of our Diversity Council and who helped with his wife Cynthia start our Black History Bowl at Mason Intermediate. So that was a really special way to begin our meeting. And then we also celebrated some of our recent events, like Black History Fest and Taste of Mason, which next year will be its 20th anniversary, and then work together to solidify plans for AAPI. And so shameless plug, that's coming up. Our AAPI celebration, we have that coming up May 11th. It's going to be great food, all free, sponsored by Mason Schools Foundation, so make sure to be there. And Dr. Brennan also led us in a meaningful conversation about our district's learner-centered systems of support and that OKR and what it does to help as we continue to strengthen the supports and the outcomes for all of our learners.
It was a good meeting indeed. We'll move to Facilities Committee. So, Mr. Messer.
Facilities Committee, well, thank you for approving the roof, the community center, the paving plan we have for all of our buildings, and also the HVAC plan, phase one, like Jonathan said, for ME and MI. So those are, I look forward to getting those started. I know I'll be reaching out to the people tomorrow to make sure they're on our schedule and try to work around all the events we have, but we're very excited to kind of get that going and appreciate you keeping our schools best possible shape for our kids. Two other quick things, just so you know, the pathway behind MI that we've been working on for a while, and then it was with the rainy and cold, it has been completed. They are now just working on getting the ground back the way it was, so the path is there and it's done. And also we have placed some privacy dividers in bathrooms here at the middle school, and they're going to start at the high school as well. Those have come in and have started to be done, and I've had a few kids in middle school already comment to me, thank you. So thank you to you too.
Thank you to the parent that brought it to our attention. So, Mason Schools Foundation.
Well, we approved our Mason Schools Foundation Teachers of the Year, which we had over 150 applications from parents in our community and students who volunteered. I'm not going to announce them because it's a secret, but we're thrilled to do that here when we celebrate all of our educators and Teacher Appreciation Month in May. We also had a good conversation about our grant guidance, and while folks might be looking at the market and sometimes getting a little nervous as your own portfolios might come up and down, the good news about our foundation is that we've really stuck it for the long term, and along that way have made a commitment for many years. We've been giving back $100,000 a year back to the district. Well, our board gave the guidance and the flexibility for our grant committee to fund. Really, for next year, we'd like to aim, if we have grants coming for us, $125,000 to $150,000 range. So huge commitment. So every time you have a fundraiser from the Mason Schools Foundation, consider giving generously. That money's just coming right back to our schools.
Absolutely. That's great.
Thank you, Tracy. Excited to see when those secrets get revealed, who the Teachers of the Year are. And our last committee report is Safe and Inviting Schools. So back to you, Mr. Messer.
All right, once again, I want to first of all say thank you to Ms. Dobson. She is my partner on the Safety and Wellness Committee and does a great job. And she had a great idea of bringing over our Hope Squad. So we had students from the high school Hope Squad, the middle school Hope Squad, and also for the first time this year, we have MI students who are part of Hope Squad. And they came and presented to our safety team and just kind of talked about what they do and the power of Hope Squad and how, you know, they're kind of the connection there. They have connection, community, and hope. And one thing they said that really impacted me and I thought about when I got home was right now they are impacting our community. But as they move on, as they go to college and they go throughout their life, the impact they're going to have is going to go well beyond even Mason. And I thought that was a pretty powerful comment from our high school student. So that was a great presentation. We also talked about, you know, on March 4th at the high school, we had an event and we talked about what do we learn from that? Because anytime we have an event, we want to make sure, how do we handle that? What can we get better at? So we talked with the people that were there, all the things that we learned, and how do we get better? And that's a powerful thing to do. And I heard the kids tonight talk about what do you learn and how do you get better? And so that was kind of the impact of our meeting. And I look forward to the next year.
Thank you, sir. That brings us to item number 12, which is our legislative update. Dr. Cooper, what do you have for us?
We'll stay engaged in Columbus. I was in Columbus last week and be back there this next week. And we are watching all of the bills that have been presented. May 12th is the return of the House and the Senate. So it's about to get exciting for us. And then we'll be busy until the end of June. And then after June, things will recess, and then we will not see people until after November when we go into lame duck. So the things that are going to happen for us are going to be May 12th through June. So I'll keep you posted as we come back together. But we have a lot cooking out there, which is exciting. Stay engaged.
Thank you, sir. And so we'll move to item 13, which is our administrator commentary, and we will start off with Mrs. Carson.
Well, I already plugged AAPI, so I'll go right into this weekend. We have our district art show coming up. It is just an incredible experience to see the creativity that our kids have. Our teachers do an amazing job, our art educators, of growing that muscle. And Dr. Cooper, who has kind of an art background himself, it was not a struggling artist. You were just but he does his picks as well, and you can go along when you look at this district art show. You can see the things that were chosen by educators as a special best in shows, as well as Dr. Cooper's. But just such a good experience. And then during that same time, so it's a great opportunity, Sister Act the musical. It is going to blow us all away. If you saw Hadestown last year and you saw some of the incredible talent, there's going to be a reprise of some of those same talents with big voices. Lots of fun, a great show. And of course, if you're a Golden Comic card holder, age 60 and above in our community, you can call my office, 513-398-0474, option 7, and we'll get you free tickets to Sister Act. But we'll make you sign up.
Good.
That number is also on the website in case you didn't catch it, but it's option 7.
It's easier than trying to plug in a name.
Totally get it. Thank you, Tracy. Dr. Brennan.
Just as we look at these final weeks of the school year, every day, every evening, every weekend is packed. And so just a huge thank you to our staff, our students, our families who make each of these days count and continue to make Mason moments together. So excited for what these last weeks hold for us all.
Dr. Blessing.
Thank you. Thank you, Cam, for your public comments. I'm a runner, so that was exciting to hear I have a young runner in the crowd. So thank you for being here. And also congratulations to all of our retirees. It's an exciting time for our office, and we're excited to celebrate them. We'll start those celebrations next month. So thank you.
And for the first time, not the last time, Mr. Knapp.
Good evening. Just a quick opportunity to say thank you to the board for allowing us to bring on an amazing new Director of Technology Innovation with Mr. Kanta. He is going to bring a lot of experience and expertise and leadership to our departments. We're really excited about that. I also want to say thank you to Principals Reuter, Polka, and Todd for welcoming to their instructional leadership team meetings this past few weeks. My past 2 months in Mason have been amazing, just getting to know people, and I'm starting to push into buildings and meetings and get to know all the wonderful faces across our schools and community, so it's been awesome. And another just big thanks to our tech team. They continue to rock it. We've got a big lift right now with our Change to Power Schools, our SIS, and they are moving the needle every single day and getting us to the finish line on that in a great way. So thank you to you all.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Messer.
Just want to bring up the senior bike ride is May 13th, and there's a little bit of construction going on out there in that intersection out there, so we want to make sure that families know the bike ride still will happen. We have had a conversation with the construction company and with the police, and Dr. Cooper is ready to go on that day already. Got his outfit ready, bike is all tuned up. We just want to know parents, there's a little bit of changes. You won't be able to kind of stand on that side, so we're going to really focus people standing and parking on the MI side. We've talked to MI staff about maybe parking in different places to leave open spots for people. So just that is coming up quickly, but we want to make sure kids get to enjoy that and families get to enjoy that. That's certainly a Mason moment for everybody. So, and thank you for your support.
Thank you for figuring out the logistics of that. Wouldn't want to lose that tradition. So, Mr. Bevan.
2 quick things. One, congratulations to all of our state champions. For them and their families, what great accomplishments, and really neat to celebrate them. Second, I did get a question from one of our many watchers of the meeting related to the community center and how the roof school district split is. So for anybody who was watching and would like to know, so the community center is a shared space between the school district and the city pays about 88% of the costs on that shared space. So there you go. Mark that down for your notes.
Love that our viewers are reaching out online.
Yes, there are many. There are many.
Always good to know they're listening.
Some in person, some online.
Yeah. Yes. Any feedback we get is feedback we like.
Amen.
That's good.
Dr. Cooper.
Thank you for moving over here to all those people out there that are engaged. All right, really quick, thank you to all of and congratulations to our kids tonight. What a great time to just hear our kids' voices in a variety of ways in a celebration. And I want to thank our volunteers. We had after prom and after prom, our big lifts, and we're up until very late at night, and there's a lot of prep that goes into it. So for the Moran family, thank you for leading the way, and for everyone that contributed. I know I saw most of you doing all kinds of wonderful things that night, so thank you for doing that. That makes it possible. And then finally, for admin assistants, so tomorrow is admin assistants, just recognition celebration. We would not be able to do anything that comes together in this district in the way of excellence that it does without our wonderful frontline folks and our admin assistants that really keep us organized, keep us moving, and lead the way. So I just genuine congratulations for all the work they do, but also just gratitude for the way they serve humbly behind the scenes and make things happen. And we have all kinds of other recognitions coming up, but that's tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. And that brings us to item number 14, board commentaries. I will start to my right Mr. Galvin.
I want to just extend again our congratulations to all of the featured students who were on the superintendent's presentation agenda tonight, and also echo our appreciation and congratulations to their families, their parents. Those are sometimes, not always going acknowledged, but we are very grateful that you have cast a vision and followed through on it and left a legacy in our community that lots of Comets will build on for years to come. I think at the last meeting I might have plugged this, but since we are coming up on the deadline, the Mason Historical Society, in partnership with the City of Mason, is sponsoring an essay contest, and I believe the deadline is next Friday, May 1st. So if you go look on their website, you can find some different prompts depending on what grade you are in. And the essay deals with celebrating the 250th birthday of America coming up this summer. So I know that contest is open not just to Mason City Schools students, but all students that reside in the Mason district. So I'd encourage anybody who's watching and interested you still have time to take advantage and get in on the action there. I think that there was one other item I was going to touch on. It might come back to me. The one thing I wanted to make sure I touched on, though, was we've had a lot of coverage in our community recently around some disturbing use with AI technology. And I know that this is something that, we've all grown up with different experiences that maybe, transcend generations and that can be passed down, and whether that's, good experiences or bad experiences. I think bullying doesn't skip a generation. Harassment, shows up in different forms in every generation. But I think that this is a unique sort of phenomenon that is happening not just here in our community, but across the country, across the globe, and it's happening at such a rapid onset that it is particularly important for us as adults to recognize and appreciate how our young people are experiencing this, because it's not something that we went through personally when we were young people. And so it's not something that we had to grapple with and that we can, speak from experience on, and being that much more mindful of how we, use that technology and introduce that technology. I know that, I don't know, I should say that I can't imagine being a parent having to grapple with some of the stories that we've heard recently, how that would affect me, how that would, encourage me, or to how I would act or behave in response to that, especially if it was to happen to a child of mine. And so I have the utmost empathy, and, I just, the feelings, my heart goes out to the families that have been impacted in our community recently. And likewise, if there's any silver lining to some of the stuff that we've heard about recently, it's that I think it will only help inform and guide our district's responses and policies going forward in a way that a lot of times you can't look around every corner. You can't predict every, you can't write a policy, can't write a rule, can't write a regulation for every scenario in the world, because there's so many permutations and things that can go on. But in a way, we will be a stronger and more resilient district for the things that we've experienced, and because of how big our district is, sometimes we tend to see things and trends before others do. Sometimes it's not that we see them happen before others, but the prominence of our district amplifies them, brings them to the surface more than they are happening in other communities, notwithstanding that other communities are going through the same things as us. And I do know that it's not something I would ever want to go through or experience myself, but if God forbid that did happen, there's not a district, there's not an administration that I would rather be surrounded by and be in the presence of than our own, because I know how seriously and how heartfelt our administration and our board takes these matters. I know that a lot of times we amplify and highlight the fun and the good that goes on here, the work that we get to be a part of. We don't always amplify or highlight the pain and the heartbreak and the things that we hear, we're privy to. Some of that's because it's kept in confidence of things like executive session or other laws that require things to be kept confidential. But when a child is hurt, whether it's in our household or not, whether we know the family or not, it hurts each one of us. And when a family is suffering, we suffer along with them, and we feel the shortcomings and the feeling of what could we have done more, what could others have done more, even when there's not an answer to that. You always want, your heart goes out, and you always feel like there's something that needs to be done. And so I just want to express gratitude for the community that we have here, for their caring and their empathy with one another, and that's all I've got tonight.
Appreciate you, Mr. Galvin. Mrs. Timmons.
I will start by thanking Charles for his commentary on that, and I won't add much more to it other than to kind of second the sentiments that I don't want any family to have to go through this type of a situation, and I know that it is pervasive. It's happening in lots of different places, but using this as guidance and a drive to build a really good policy and then structure ourselves in a way that makes sure our teachers and our staff are working with our students and our families. I think this incident caused a lot of families to have conversation that they might not have had. And it happened in my household, it's happened in many of my friends' households, because now we're having these conversations that we didn't even know to have about the legality of things and what is an experiment and what is illegal and what is hurtful and harassment, and being able to have those conversations with students kind of drives things forward. So as we're writing policy in the coming months around AI specifically, I think it's really important that we keep these kinds of things in mind, and I know we will, because I've seen the care that has gone into the conversations around this particular topic. So that's where I'm going to leave that piece, but I do want to move on to something a little bit different, because I did get to help with after prom, admittedly for the first time, I'm sorry to say, but it was my first time as a prom mom, and it was my first time at after prom, and I learned a lot, not just about myself and my child, who actually took a selfie with me, but also the kids in our high school are phenomenal. Just watch, I was at Gaga Ball, which was terrifying, first of all, but watching them play and the way they policed themselves, not each other, but themselves, like, oh man, I got it, and they were out, like, they were just so polite and kind and nice to each other, and even when they were being kind of rough, they were being kind. It was just such a fun, uplifting experience, and I'm so thankful. I will be volunteering for years to come. So it was a blast. So thank you to Brian and Casey Moran and all the volunteers that helped, because it was an absolute treat. And then, of course, the last thing I want to say is, Cam, if you can hear me, I hope you were paying attention to that speech and debate presentation, because you are on a road, man. Thank you for your comments tonight. I appreciate you coming up and taking the podium.
Thank you, Mrs. Timmons. Move to Mrs. Batchy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just to echo, I won't elaborate more, but thank you, Charles, for your extended commentary, to just face head on what we're dealing with and what the world's dealing with. And we're chartering new waters, and it feels like we've done a lot of that, and since the years I've been on the board, with COVID and AI. So I do appreciate your heartfelt words, and definitely have the same sentiments. So thank you for addressing that. And Cam, you read my mind. I'm picturing you back in this room many times in your career at Mason. So well done at the microphone. So thank you for coming in and sharing with us your research, and thank you for being prepared, and thank you for making it fun. It was fun to see you and hear you. I love seeing our
our athletes and our, organization successes. And thank you, and Tracy as well, for preparing that and highlighting the Moran family, who probably could come to almost every meeting and be recognized because you do so much for the community. So thank you so much for your giving heart and your heart for the people around you. You help so many people, and I'm sure a lot of times you're not appreciated for it. So thank you for giving us a chance to say thank you again for helping with after prom. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Vice President Steele.
Yeah, not to belabor the subject, but it's important to speak on. Thanks, Charles, for bringing it up. When you're involved in schools and school leadership, before you get into a seat like this, you can't appreciate the things that schools can and can't do when it comes to situations that are really tough like this. And so it can feel frustrating sometimes about even the information we can share. There are open investigations, literally, law enforcement investigations, and student privacy, even for somebody who's been accused of a terrible act. But I will say what I'm really proud of is the things that we can do, we do, and we do well. And so even the parent who spoke tonight, I was very happy to hear him lead with, here's what the schools did for my daughter. And that's something that we can do, and I'm just so grateful that we've invested, and we have the staff and the leadership who wrap around our students when we can, in a very real way and meaningful way. Transitioning, pivoting again to after prom. Thank you, Brian and Casey Moran, who literally give their blood, sweat, and tears to Comet Cupboard after prom. And I really, truly do encourage anybody who's able to volunteer at least once at after prom. It is a blast. I've done inflatables this year. I handed out Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and it is just a joy to be around that much joy and be around our excellent students just living their best lives, like Casey said, time and time again. Cam, thank you for sharing with us tonight. As a parent of two boys who were fifth graders not too long ago, I heard the same comments about by the time you go to lunch and by the time you transition and by the time you get outside and you get a game going, it's time they're telling you to line up to come back inside. And I always said, well, come talk to people about it. And Cam, you're doing it. So thank you for inspiring your fellow learners. And we'll have those conversations. There's only so much we can do, but we should be talking about this at least. So thank you for leading us there. And lastly, just wanted to say good luck to all of our seniors and wrapping up your Mason moments. Good luck to all of our parents and families. It's about to be Maycember. I'm exhausted already thinking about it as a parent of high schooler and middle schooler. So good luck with the rest of the year. Stay safe and rest up. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Steele. I am just grateful to be in this district, and I say that a lot because it's true. And why is it true? I listen for themes. I listen for things that kind of cross all the different things that we may talk about at any given moment, the things that are on our agenda. And what you heard tonight from our students that we were celebrating was the deep impact and the deep opportunity that a school district like this one gives to students. And so whether they're talking about being encouraged to speak and use their voice, and that is from a senior and from a fifth grader, right? Like the juxtaposition of our students being empowered is amazing when you balance it with the disempowerment that some can feel, and that's real. And so to the father who spoke about how his daughter felt, it is heartbreaking, and there's not enough adjectives to say how badly we feel that there are multiple students that were impacted. The problem is we find out from an investigation, right? Because there are things that impact our students, like hunger and homelessness, that move outside of the things that we can directly impact, and we try as hard as we can, and bad things will still happen. But I'm comforted with the knowledge that we're giving them a big dose of good. where they say, hey, this common skill of a growth mindset, or this common skill of integrity or flexibility and agility. And so as our students leave this bubble, this very, very nice bubble that we have created for them, I feel good knowing that we have given them things to allow them to overcome and think through the obstacles and hurdles that they will face in life, because it is a prickly, big, bad world out there. And if just for however long, Liam has been in our district for 2 years, and he came with a purpose, and he's leaving with friends and experiences and all the opportunities moving ahead, and he's carrying so much of that from Comic Country with him. And I just, it makes me grateful to know the administrators and the educators. We're gonna get it wrong. We're gonna get it wrong. We'll admit it, and we'll do better from it. But what we strive to do every day is protect and educate. And I think when I think about my friends on other boards, when I think about districts around this area, I feel just like you do, Charles. No one, I trust this district. I know these people. I know what they wake up, what's on their mind, whether it's a snow day and getting up at 4 a.m. to make sure the roads are safe and that our parking lots are plowed, to the logistics of keeping a tradition alive, even amidst construction. So I am empathetic, but I'm also excited that we are doing the things that allow humans to thrive in the real world when they get outside this bubble. And Cam, man, I want to play more too, right? I got a stand-up desk, and that's about as far as I can get because I got to work. But that we are empowering you and that you're passionate about more play and more movement, and you showed up. We'll keep this conversation going, okay? Does that work for you? My man. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Have a great night.